Hi, Miss Kennedy. So, this is our lander. This is our final design. There was a lot of things that I really liked about it, and things that I wished we would have improved better. Um, at first, we had like triangles that would potentially like give it sturdiness for the lander so that it doesn't tilt whenever you drop it, but it was just the triangles and it didn't really help, and they would just completely detach. So we added this base um on the bottom so that whenever you dropped it, it would just drop it like and be still, not move or anything. We thought that the sand that we added would just work for like would just work with that, like it would just give it more sturdy, like the sand would give it more sturdiness, but that sadly didn't work. But we still improved it, and we identified the problem, and we actually improved it. Another thing was the cushion inside. We used a lot of cotton and a lot of foam, and it was very helpful to protect the egg from breaking, because it wasn't the fact that we didn't have enough cushion or that the cushion wasn't strong. It was the fact that the lid was very weak, and it would completely like detach the magnets that we put together so that the lid wouldn't completely get out. Even though the lid was very easily like you could easily take out and grab the egg and check it. There was there was like a disadvantage to that the egg would like easily fall out, and all the cushion will fall out. And to be honest, I wish we could have improved that with more materials that actually with materials that actually did help with that, because we used carton for the lid and it was very weak. Despite all of that, I really liked the fact that, I didn't really like the fact that it sounded loud whenever we dropped it. That was another thing. So the lid, the triangles, like we only used one triangle instead of two, because in my personal design we had two like 3D triangles. We used instead one, which I wish we could have like changed, because then it would be more sturdier and it wouldn't just break, because it would have like that seal. So if it broke, it wouldn't just like fall apart. If it was just one, it would just break. But if it was two, then it would be like a house protection, and when you like drop it in the floor, it would just stay like that. And that's what like my thought process like was thinking, like was coming up with. But we sadly didn't have we sadly didn't make any changes or anything, so we just stayed with one, which I didn't like and I wished we would have improved. So yeah, the lid, just the one triangle, and the loudness, that's the things that we would have improved. Honestly, with the loudness, I'm pretty sure we would have like put foam like um under the base, but we didn't have, like, the foam ran out, so we didn't have time. And the things that I did like, the cushion, and I did like the base, because the base gave it sturdiness. And what else did I really like? Oh, and I really like that we used Ziploc bags for the eggs, so that it didn't it smirched, like the liquids would like just merge all over the inside of the lander. Because first when we first like did the test day, the egg broke and it had all the insides out and it smelled horrible. So we learned our lesson and improved that, and we used a Ziploc bag so that whenever it broke, the inside would be in a Ziploc bag and not in the lander and smell bad and all these things. So that's another thing that we identified the problem, and all these things. So yeah. So do I think that if I had unlimited resources and funds, this would be used for Mars, I would totally think that, because the design only had a limitation of the materials. Because it's true, we used glue and tape, which wasn't very sturdy to stick the things that the strong materials that we used, you know. It's not very easy to stick plastic with plastic, you know. So yeah, so I do believe that it could have been used if we did have like other materials, but the design itself, like the structure and everything, perfect. um for the airbags, I think I said that the tape that we used to stick the airbags was very weak, and at first the airbags were very like sturdy, they were very pressured, but then later on it just literally just deflated, it was just withered. And I'm pretty sure it was because we changed the formula the third time we tested, because we used stoichiometry. We calculated how many liters of CO2, no wait, how many grams of baking soda and vinegar we needed for the airbags. And let me show you how it was. It was very helpful actually, because even if we didn't like realize, it did, like, we could actually see the limiting reactant and the excess reactant when we did the chemical reaction, because whenever we like mixed the vinegar and the baking soda, the baking soda would it would bubble, like the water would bubble, and the baking soda would just disappear and the vinegar would just be left over. So I'm pretty sure that you know, when the chemical reaction happened, the baking soda ran out and the vinegar was left over, because there wasn't enough baking soda to, you know, react with the bunch of vinegar that we used. And the thing that why I know that there was baking soda present was because the water turned white. Like, you could see like a little bit of whiteness in the water. Of course not a lot of it, but you could see it. Yeah. I think that's basically all that I wanted to talk about. And our results. This is, you know, our tables and our data. It survived, thank God, but until like our last drop. It was like literally our last drop and it died, but oh well, it's fine. At least we improved our design, and we were able to learn from it. So yeah.